What's up, besties? It's your girl Morgan here, and you're listening to Your Internet Best Friend. All right, friends, besties, my internet humans. Today, I am so excited. I am joined by one of my dear friends. He is the first ever winner of the Circle. He's loud, he's proud, he's authentically himself. I feel like we're very similar, but also wildly different. So welcome to the podcast, Joey Sasso.
What up, Morgan Willett?
Joey, I missed you. How are you doing?
First off, I miss you too. I'm really upset I never got to go with you to the New Beverly Tarantino's theater before you moved, because we planned that for so long and it just didn't happen.
I know.
But I'm doing great. I think you're doing great. You look great. You look like you've had a whole glow up situation happening since you got out of LA. So I need to know, what is going on with you? Are you okay? Is the smile genuine, or are you hiding sadness right now, Morgan Willett? I need to know.
Joey, is this your podcast or is this my podcast? Because if you want to interview me, we can make this happen. I have actually quite a few questions for you, but I'll give you a little brief update and I'll give the people an update. The smile is authentic. I am the happiest I have been, I think, ever. I love Nashville. I love the people I've met. I feel like this sounds corny, but I feel like I am radiating pure joy and it's authentic. I feel like in the past in LA, I might put on a front to be peppy, happy-go-lucky Morgan, but here I wake up every single day and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my life. I love it so much. So
that makes me so happy. Good for you, honey. Honestly, you really deserve that. I know you've been through some shit, and as we all have, but I think sometimes when you're going through that really shitty period, it's really beneficial. It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but when you grow and you overcome it and you look back, you're like, yo, if I didn't go through that, I would not be where I am today, and I would not appreciate where I am today. So it just makes me really happy to hear that.
Thank you. And I so agree with that. And I mean, that leads me kind of into what I want to talk to you about first. Everyone wants to know about reality TV. Sure. I get it. That's the tea, the drama. We'll get to all of that. But what I really want to talk to you about, because I actually have talked about this on my Instagram, I'm thinking about doing a no alcohol August. I mean, with some rules and stipulations, no alcohol for me is wine counts still.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to you about your sobriety. You are how many days sober right now?
I think 983. I'm
Wow.
very close to hitting 1,000 days, which is awesome, and I'll hit my 3-year mark November 22nd, which is really insane.
I'm so proud of you. I look up to you so much, again, for X amount of reasons that I can go into, but I'll save it. I'll save my emotional spiel. Why did you become sober? What led you down this path?
To just be honest about it, I'm an alcoholic drug addict. I wish I could be some people are I just, took a break or this and that. Being honest about it was the hard. I mean, I can't relate it to anything besides, when people talk about coming out and being authentically themselves. I felt like I was living with such a secret for so many years, and you become really good at lying and hiding things, and also the people who know you're lying, they just maybe don't call you on it. And I just felt like my entire life I had always carried myself with such confidence, and that was never a put on, that was never fake, and I always wanted to seem like such a strong man, and I felt like admitting to such a problem looked like such a weakness, and was so scared of how people were going to judge me for that. And also me being the person who has judged others who had, I come from Rochester, New York. Most of my friends I grew up with are dead in jail or junkies. And I've been the person sitting there calling a dude with a needle in his arm a fucking loser, knowing I got my own shit, but I'm not as bad as him, that type of thing. And when I do anything, and I think you know this about me, there's no middle ground. It's all or nothing. So
0 to 100. That's how we're the same.
Yeah, and that's a classic cycle of addicts. Of you've got that problem where I can't have a drink. I'm gonna drink for 2 fucking days till my body can't take it anymore. It was if I'm gonna do this, I need to put it out there for myself, for my family, but also in a selfish way for me to hold myself accountable. Such a scary time in my life, but man, truly the best thing I have ever done. And it makes me really happy because even like us having our friendship, I've told you this before. I don't think our friendship would be what it is in the way that it is if we had met when I was getting fucked up. It would
Right.
not have, and it's like that with so many people in my life.
Absolutely. So, walk me through the timeline. So, you were obviously on The Circle. For those
Yeah.
who lived under a rock and don't know, show on Netflix. He won. Were you sober at the time of The Circle, or did this all happen after that?
No, no, I was a full blown addict during that entire time.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I just had a conversation with my friend about people who grind in the entertainment industry and find success, and people look like it's overnight. But, for someone like me, and you know this about me, I was living in LA for almost 10 years at that point, and I was
Mm-hmm.
grinding on my career, and I was dead broke and chasing a dream. And I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly, but where it's like years after the fact, we talked about it now. Like, even when I went to go do the circle, I wasn't very excited about it, to tell you the truth. And I
Hmm.
don't say that to be a hater. It's just you know this about me. I am a film nerd. I love film. I moved to LA to be an actor, a writer, a producer, and reality TV to me was always like Jersey Shore and people fighting and hooking up. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. So when I got that gig, I really was sort of hesitant because I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I just went through a huge breakup. My life was in
Mm-hmm.
turmoil. I had made my film, which is getting finally coming out this year. On more on that later. But I was like, I have nothing to lose. Let me just go have a good time. But when I got there, you were supposed to be locked down with a chaperone and
Mm-hmm.
not leave because we don't start filming for a while. But basically, I broke every single rule. I was out partying, getting hammered.
Really?
Oh, the entire time. Yeah, the entire
During
time.
sequester, like when you're supposed to be locked down in the hotel?
Yeah, I was out partying in clubs, doing a lot of things I shouldn't have been doing. Actually, I'll tell you, I know I've never said this publicly. Here's tea for you.
Ah, we got the tea on the pod.
The morning I found out, because for those of you who don't know, when you go on the circle, that show specifically, the people you see on the show are not the only people they bring. They bring about 30 people there because you have to have alternates in case something happens or one person goes out. So let's say there's 12 or 13 people on the show. There's really 30 people who made it all the way through casting, but they tell you just because they bring you there, it's not a guarantee that you're going to
Okay.
get on. So, like, there are people who were on, let's say, season 3 or 4 of The Circle, but they were brought there for season 2. And they basically told them you didn't get on, but if you choose to stay, there's a chance you could. But maybe it was just cockiness or me just like not caring. I just never worried about it. So, the day I found out I was on the show, again, if you don't know from not seeing how it's made, you want to be in the top 8, which is the first 8 people you meet when the show starts, of like the people going in the apartments, because that's basically producers saying these are our strongest people that we feel like fit each box, and
Mm-hmm.
to start the show off successfully. I found out I was going in the top 8 after being on a bender and being still awake at like 7:30 in the morning when the producers called, and I had to act like I was asleep in bed, and I was like, "Hello," and like congratulations, you're going in Monday, you're the top 8 or whatever, and I was, oh great. Meanwhile, I was with people, let's say, and
Okay.
and very intoxicated. So even things like that, and people saying wearing the sunglasses inside. Like, number one, you know this about me. I wear sunglasses inside no matter what. I'm weird like that. But also, if I was putting things in my body and I don't want my eyes to look droopy or something, so
Wait, so when you're filming The Circle, did you have, once you're in the apartments, did you have access to alcohol? Were you drinking heavily during
no,
filming?
I was actually super pissed because again, what I knew from reality television was people being train wrecks, and I thank God they didn't let me be a train wreck. But I was like, "Yo, I am here. I will give you 100% access to me, and I will be on all day long." But like, I'm a grown ass man. I'm an adult. I think I was 25 or 26 at the time. I'm like, I live alone. I want alcohol. But that being said, I was always authentically myself on that
Mm-hmm.
show. I was never putting anything on. I just think people did not know what I was living with, it started to eat at me. So, I've never talked about those things publicly. So
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. So, if someone's listening to this podcast and they're like, I'm struggling, I want to get sober, I don't know where to start, what would you say to them? Like, where, I don't know, walk me through that.
I would say the rock bottom thing is true, but it needs to happen about 10 to 15 times because, I mean, at least for me, I'm stubborn as fuck. And like, you think you keep having these epiphanies. It's sort of it's like me being a cigarette smoker, right? Like, I'm so tired of this. I'm done. Fuck it. I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of it. And it's like, that's a breakthrough. I'm done. But realistically, I wake up the next day and the cravings are there and I give in. But like,
Mm-hmm.
that seed is planted of I know I'm done. I want to be done. I have a problem. And it just how long till those many things happen that it sticks. Um, but for me, there was a few different events that happened. Some of which I can't go into just because it's very personal and private.
Mm-hmm.
But I think to be quite clear, I was very suicidal for a long period of time because I was living with a lot of demons that no one knew about, more so than just hiding having an addiction. Because I don't think people realize like what addiction really looks like. Is we all see the pictures of the heroin addict asleep on the street, and like, yeah, that's a very harsh representation to scare people. But also, I look at the guy who gets up and goes to work every day. It really does become manageable to hide an addiction, and it just becomes a lot to where like I remember waking up in the morning and my term of success for the day was if I can get myself out of bed, brush my teeth, and put on a decent outfit of any sort.
Mm-hmm.
Because doing that without any substances in my body was so devastatingly hard, and my body was so sore, and I just wanted to die, man. Like I did not want to be here, and I felt like a failure in my life for pursuing my career and it not going the way I wanted to, and having being a joke in high school in terms of like Joey's moving to LA. He thinks he's going to be an actor, a filmmaker. Like I was always so sure of myself and my dreams, and I really felt like I'd let myself down, let my family down, who believed in me. And then you have so many substances altering your brain, so it's going to make everything so much worse than it actually is. And I just wanted it to just be done. I mean, you hear
Mm-hmm.
people with depression talk about having suicidal ideation. It's not about wanting to die. It's just wanting the pain to be gone
Mm-hmm.
under any circumstance. So like it was a lot of those things, man, that were building up, and it's hard because to a lot of people, only some people might know I was going through something where everyone else could see me smiling and being
Yeah.
good. That wasn't fake. I am a happy person. I genuinely wake up happy, but I was just in a really bad way for a long time. And, you know, I was very, very close to not being here anymore. More than people realize. Very, very close. And, something gave at the right moment. And I knew that was sort of, even in that phase of being cloudy and wanting to just be done. Um, I was like, this is I know my one shot, but I know I'm not a bad person in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So let me at least give this a shot and give it my all and see what happens. And it's the best thing I've ever done for myself.
And if you're listening to this and you relate or anything like that, just know that, I mean, Joey, you're proof. It can get better. It will get better. You just can't give up. Lean on the people around you. And to those listening who aren't struggling, I hope everyone can learn that just because someone's smiling and happy on the outside does not mean that they are not dealing with their own internal battles and demons. So, if anything, just be kind. Check in on your people. I think I'm guilty of that. Like, Joey, I feel kind of guilty. Like, why have I not called you in the past 2 months to see how you're doing? Like, it's
But
just.
same, fucking same.
But I think everyone, we get wrapped up in life, in jobs, and this and that, but really at the core of everything is your relationships with other people. So I just really think prioritizing that, checking in on your people, because I mean, look at you. Like, I'm so happy you're here. I cannot fathom not having you in my life, but I don't know. I'm sure maybe one person checked in on you, and that was enough for you to be like, I think I need to be here. I need to stay on this earth. So,
100%. And just one last thing for people, if you are out there struggling, one thing I want to make really clear that I had to figure out is sobriety is if you're an addict struggling, it is everything, but it's also not the key to everything. Meaning,
Mm,
it took me, because I was so in a bad way for so long, I just kept feeling like if I get clean, everything in my life that's a problem is going to be solved. And so many things did, the major things in terms of me being able to be myself again, acknowledge my mistakes, try to fix things. But we all have deficiencies no matter what.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like once you get clean, you realize, oh, like I think I've told you this before. I laugh. Like it took me to become sober to realize how much of a fuck up I am. Just like naturally,
Shut
like
up.
oh no, like really, like we all have things that it. I could say before it was being an addict and it was this, and yes, that relate into so many things. But finding your clarity is really an opportunity for you to tackle the things that are really there that
Mm,
you need to work on. That being sober or not being sober is not going to fix if you're not doing the work. So just for people out there, realize yes, it's the best thing for you to do, but the work really starts once you get clear and start working on yourself.
yeah, gotta work on the insides first. Okay, quick tips for those. And I'm also curious myself because I am obviously like I love to socially drink. But for example, last weekend I had one too many beverages and I woke up with the worst anxiety of my life. I was just like, what are you doing? Get your life together. So I had this idea where I was going to attempt no alcohol August, which now is maybe going to change a little bit. I've decided I'm allowed to have a cocktail if it's light outside, but I'm not going to do any shots. And I have like a 2-drink maximum. So we're going to see if I can stick with that. But for you, who is sober, and for someone who maybe wants to cut back a little bit or feels a lot of pressure, which I often do if I'm going out with other people who are drinking, how do you stick with it? Do you have any tips, tricks that help you stay in line and also not feel guilty?
Well, I think one thing is I love my sugar-free Red Bull. That's something
Okay.
because I am an addict and like I always realize I have to replace bad things with good things. This isn't necessarily good, but it's better than drinking
It's at
booze.
least sugar free. I'm proud of you for having at least a sugar free option.
Yeah, I always drink my sugar frees. I used to hate soda water and lime, but after being sober and having to sort of do that now, I really enjoy it. But I would just say I think a lot of people are always interested in bettering themselves and at least attempting to better themselves. So more so than feeling pressure, I would say give yourself the opportunity, because most people don't, to know what it's like to say I'm going to go out 3 or 4 times and I'm not going to drink, and
Mm,
I'm not, I don't have to tell anyone why I'm doing this, but I'm going to check in with myself of how I feel. Do I feel insecure, like I can't be myself without that cocktail? Do I feel pressure to fit in? Do I feel like to approach the cute guy or the cute girl I need that liquid courage? I mean, there's a lot that you can find out about yourself in those scenarios, and you could be holding a soda water with a lime. No one knows you're not drinking. You have a glass in your hand. And to me, I just think it's interesting because again, you don't have to share those things with anyone, but it's interesting to check in with yourself and really
mm-hmm.
where you're at, and maybe have some eye-opening results of like, yo, I didn't realize how much I have to depend on being, intoxicated or lit to do things. Because like even for me when I went out, I didn't need alcohol to talk to anyone or fit in. I just was a binge drinker who wouldn't stop. But I realized how many more connections and friendships I could make being sober talking to you versus
Mm-hmm.
blacked out making a fool, and you'll never call me or look at me again. You know what I mean?
Okay, I mean, one, I don't think that could ever happen, but this just made me think of Joey. Do you remember when we hung out in LA and I went to Bottomless Mimosa Brunch? Speaking of, the fact that you're talking to me right now is unreal. So for those listening who are like, what the hell are you talking about? I went to a drag brunch in West Hollywood and had bottomless mimosas. And my toxic trait, one of many, is if I'm at a bottomless mimosa brunch, I will get my money's worth. If
Mm.
that means drinking 2 bottles of champagne by myself, it's gonna happen. And I'm a little, that 0 to 100 is in my personality as well, to where once I stop. But anyways, so I drank way too much. Me and my friend Taylor, who you met, I
Love
was
her.
convinced someone slipped something in my drink, but in fact, I think I just actually drank too much. But tell me why I went home, took a nap, and I called you, Joey, and I said, we're going to a warehouse party.
Yeah, this was a night for people who will never know. I saved yours and Taylor's life.
You actually did, and I am so thankful for you because we were train wrecks. There's no reason we drank all morning, went to bottomless brunch, and somehow I woke up and put on a dress and said, let's go to some sketchy warehouse party. And I said, Joey, do you want to come? And you, being the ride or die friend that you are, decided to come with. But then I continued to drink, which is the problem. And at one point, I think you were trying to wrangle me and my friend who were like walking in the middle of the street in West Hollywood. I truly woke up the next morning never being more mortified, embarrassed. I was like, this man is never going to talk to me ever again. But look, here you are on my podcast.
No, I first of all, I love you. I would never hold it against you, but I remember the thing you were most upset about. Not most upset about, but I was like, don't you remember I introduced you to my friend who's the casting director for The Circle? And you were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I was like, dude, I knew you were lit, but like, I was like, I still, like, I don't know if this will ever happen again. Like, I got to try to make the intro and this and that. And it was one of those, like, it was, and I was like, dude, I promise you didn't ruin a connection. You're fine. He liked you. We were all partying. It was good. But yes, I know that feeling.
Yes. Fuck. I do not it was a little blurry, me meeting this producer of The Circle. I would still like to think that I didn't ruin that connection, and they will put this lovely blonde face on The Circle at some point in the future. I actually don't think that will ever happen. But yes, I did have a full-blown conversation with him that I don't remember having.
I mean, look, it was awesome being there and seeing it. It was fucking entertaining.
And there is nothing worse, truly nothing worse than being sober and then having like a drunk friend with you. I honestly, Joey, I know I've said sorry a million times, but like, I am so sorry you had to witness that.
You never have to apologize. Everyone has their own pet peeves. For me, it's so much more manageable and tolerable when it's, again, friends who I love versus being with people I don't know who are just fucking annoying. And I'm like, this is why I stay home.
This is why I stay home. Well, that's why I don't go to bottomless brunches anymore. So we cut myself off. Speaking of The Circle, let's chat about that because you won, first ever winner. That was what? The Circle came out during the pandemic, so everyone was watching this show. Did you expect it to be as big as it was?
No. So I think the pandemic helped the show make a huge success because the show came out in January. It was January 1st, and the pandemic started in March. So like, it was huge when it came out. Like, it literally overnight my life changed, which was insane. And the pandemic, again, it's one of those things in life you just can't ever predict. Of like, we all became stuck at home and couldn't leave, and the concept of the show was that, like, come on, like, that's just, you can't plan that to happen. It just, right. It is what it is. No, dude, I remember being there and, again, trying to be a professional of being trained in comedy, improv, everything of, like, I'm giving this 100% and being 100% myself. But, like, from what I know of reality TV, no one, everyone hooks up, everyone fights. We're sitting here talking to a screen. What the hell is this? Like, who is going to watch this? And even winning, I've said this a million times, and I swear it is so true. I never in a million years even thought about winning. And I think you can believe that a little bit more now, knowing what I told you about going there. Like, It was never a thought in my brain. I'm super competitive. It was about winning. To me is making it to the end, because like, right. You have things in mind, like, please don't let me go first, because that would really suck.
Yeah, that's just embarrassing.
Well, and also, like, day one, it's like, we didn't know I thought we were going to get settled in, all become friends, couple days, someone leaves. Like, no, it was day one, someone's leaving. I'm like, fuck.
Wait, please. Really? Like, the day you moved in, someone was like, oh, plot twist, you don't even get 24 hours.
Yeah, and I can't speak for any other cast members, but like, I guess you can perceive me as a diva-ish in the sense of like, I'm an overpacker. Like, if I go for a gig, like, I have 3 or 4 suitcases full, because I'm like, yo, this is me being the pro coming from like independent film. If we need something, I got it. Like, we don't waste time. I got the shit. But I'm like, if I went through all this and I'm in the UK and I went to Jersey for my sister's wedding and back, this is gonna be terrible. So thank God that didn't happen. And then I was like, let me just please get to the end. But really was like winning. those things don't happen to me. I've been broke my entire adult life. Like I don't have anything. Even when you go back to if anyone ever watches the show, there's the round table when we all first meet. And for those of you who don't know, like there really is no producer interference, but they'll like talk over a loudspeaker and just be like, hey, like guys, talk about like what would happen if you won, like what you would do with the money.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, the final votes were in, so the producers knew I had won. I didn't, but I didn't want to say I was a struggling actor in LA, and I didn't because I didn't want people to think I was there acting because I wasn't. I was
Yeah.
being my, and I also didn't want to let people know how truly broke and how I just had nothing because again, like I'm not looking for that sympathy or attention. So I just said something about like, yeah, like it'll be great to do this or do that. But really at that time I had nothing. I was in debt for thousands of dollars and my bartending job was nice enough to let me leave for a month and make sure I had my job when I went home. So, I looked at going in the finale as, dude, Sammy is gonna win, Shuby, Chris, whoever, like fucking great. We're all gonna party. I just can't wait to meet the cast, like the
Mm-hmm.
people we were here with, and actually hang out. And there are a few moments in your life, and I know it's so corny 'cause it's a reality show. I get it, but like that was such a life changing moment for me. Like if I go back and you watch that clip, look at my face. I blacked out. I truly blacked out and could not process what had just happened to me. And, then you got to go back home and you live with the secret of you did this thing. But like,
Oh,
I,
cause so when did it film versus like when were you able to watch and people knew that you won?
it was actually a pretty quick turnaround compared to things I've done recently. We filmed in August and it came out in January, but then
Okay.
there were examples of like the people who did Too Hot to Handle filmed their show like I think a year and a half before it came out. So like Netflix was very smart with how they positioned it because they really launched their reality television. We were the first one.
Did you get the check? How does that work? Because I know with Big Brother, you don't get your check. Well, no. Well, Big Brother's in real time, so I got the check as soon as like it was announced that I was the winner. Did you get your prize money the once you wrap filming, or did it have to air first and then you got the check?
I remember there was like two or three options they gave me of how to get the money, and I can't remember exactly what they were, but I do remember that I chose the option that most people probably wouldn't, which was wait longer,
Oh.
more of it in terms of taxes and shit. And it was like you get one half at this date and then the other half after the finale airs. So like I have a core memory that I'll never forget again being broke my entire life. I remember one year being so broke, I couldn't go home for Christmas because I just couldn't, and my parents found a way to get me home, and all of my cousins who are married, have families, everything, all got together and gave me an envelope full of cash for me and
Uh,
my time to make sure I could pay rent when I got home, which just broke me down because I'm 24, 25. I should be able to do this for myself. But it was Christmas Eve. The show hadn't come out yet. And I looked at my bank account and a payment of like 53,000 hit my account, and I showed my cousin, and it was just like the most insane. Like at that moment, I felt like I could buy a house in Malibu. Like that money, it was so much to me. It was kind of hard to process. It meant everything, dude. And I really didn't imagine it was going to be a hit. But when the show came out, it fucking took off. And it wasn't like immediate. It was over the course of 3 weeks. Shit just grew and grew.
So when did you like looking at your Instagram? Was it overnight and you just opened up your phone? You're like, oh my god, because what you have like 800,000 followers or something right now. Was there? Did you just open your phone? You're like, who are these humans?
Yeah, it was. So I remember Seaburn, who catfishes Rebecca, calling me. Another like core memory talking to the people at Netflix about them getting us verified. And I remember that being such a crazy thought because I never even contemplated that because I was never a social media dude. I was like, oh, really? Like, that's going to happen? Like,
I get a blue check mark. Now people get to pay 10.99 and get a blue check
yeah, I'm
mark.
like,
Lame.
that's cool. And I remember them telling me, I think some of the cast was a little pissed because it took a while for them to get verified, but Netflix, because they were going to do so much PR with me, was like, the morning of the finale, when you wake up, you'll have a blue check. And I remember waking up in my bed and having and having that happen. But yeah, it was over the course of like 3 weeks. I still remember the first people who ever recognized me. I was at work, the gay bar in LA, slinging drinks on a Saturday night, disco night, and young couple, guy and girl came in. They're like, "You're Joey. We're watching you right now." And then the show came out the first week, and people fucking
Really? Okay, because I'm trying to think. I have not watched any season of The Circle, but I did watch your first season. So I knew who you were, ironically enough, before we became friends. I don't remember thinking you were an asshole. I remember being like I thought your skincare routine was kind of like a gimmick, and I was like, oh, this guy, he's playing this up, and now I actually do believe that you do have a crazy skincare routine, but I didn't think that you were like a dick.
Yeah, I think I get it because it's the part of my personality that but you don't question because you know me. Like all of me are
Okay.
like loud, stupid, outgoing, dumb sense of humor, and it's very easy for people to be like, "Oh, this fake Jersey Shore Guido wannabe," like all of these things. Where it's like none of that is fake. That is my sense of humor. That is me. It's just they chose just show that side in the beginning, and then show the other side. So I remember it would be like, dude, people were coming at me so hard, but it was so funny. I'd be on Twitter and it would be people tweeting me and it'd be like, episode 1, get Joey the fuck out of here, can't stand it. Episode 8, I will die for this man, protect him at all costs. And like watching that switch, like they called it, was really crazy. And by the end, it couldn't have gone more perfect to what they told me people were going to expect, because it was like, oh my God, you're my favorite on the show. I love you. You're not going to win, but you're like my favorite. So when I did, people were so ecstatic, and it was, dude, it was just insane. Like it was so insane thinking back, like when that aired, and like you said, opening your phone. That's what I remember when I had signed with my new manager. We were working, we were doing press, and I was doing New York Fashion Week. Never thought that would happen, and I'm refreshing my phone, and it's going up 10,000 followers, 15,000, 20,000. My message request, you just hit refresh and it'd be 100 messages a minute, and like I'm sitting there literally trying to respond to people because I'm like, I'm thankful that you kept.
Yeah, like I want to tell everyone thank you. That's your legacy, Joey. Like you were the first one, so you set the course for everyone else. You want to know what's something so funny? Speaking of The Circle, I ended up, it's not happening anymore, but my friend messaged me and he was like, hey, my friend is going through casting for The Circle this upcoming season. He wants to know if he can use your photos to be a catfish. And I was like, I mean, okay. So I sent him all of these photos of myself, and at first they said no because they're like, this is a recognizable girl. She's been on reality TV. Then I guess it went through another round. They're like, never mind. We love this idea. It was like this, I honestly don't even know who the guy is. Maybe I should have done my due diligence and be like, who is going to pretend to be me? And then it got pushed to the higher ups, and then they last minute ended up saying no, which probably would have worked out because I don't know if I want someone using my likelihood, but that's my fun Circle story.
No, it is funny because for any real Circle fans out there, I can tell you the show is coming back, and I can say that because it's been public that they're casting, and there's other things I know that I can't say about it, but it's funny because I have so many friends who will do the same thing, who will hit me up and be like, so and so reached out to me to audition. What should I do? Best advice. And honestly, most of the time it's people I haven't heard of, just because the show's become so big that they're.
Yeah.
We did our first season, man. Like I can name every casting director, every person who had their teams of their people that they casted, and like what happens in the business, people go different places and new people come on. But I still talk to two of my casting directors who are like the main people who cast, who I'll send them people who I'm like, I think they're fucking great and take a look at. So if you're out there and you want to audition, I think it's netflixreality.com, and you submit a 60-second video of yourself, and everyone's going to say, how do I get cast? What do I, dude?
Be yourself.
No, it's so fucking corny. Just be literally.
Well, you know what I say, Joey? I say be yourself on crack. Like that really is the best way. You want to be yourself, just amplified.
Yes and no, though, because I said the same thing. I had a friend who I had audition for this season of The Circle. She sent me her tape, and I was like, this is fucking great. They're going to love this. And my friend who cast the show said, tell her to redo it and not be so hosty. basically like we're saying how
Mm,
because they're like I think that worked before for people like us, and I think now it's like we really just want talking like
real.
talking like this, and I'm Joey, and I want to come out like that. Really might be enough today with what they want. I don't know, but it's a good thing I did it when I did because I'm so fucking big naturally that there's no shutting that off. You know?
Same. I wish I could find my Big Brother audition when I had to do my Zoom because I was, oh my God, so cringeworthy. So, oh my God, it's actually so embarrassing. But we don't need to talk about that. I'm about to hit you with some real rapid fire circle questions because I want to get through this and talk about all the other fun stuff. So just like quick
You're
and
hitting.
concise, hit me with it. How much did you end up getting after taxes?
I think 80 to 90,000.
Okay, that's not bad. How much was the prize? Was it,
But 90,000, somewhere in I'd have to ask my manager. He helped me with my taxes, but I don't remember.
was it 100,000 that you guys won?
Yeah.
That's not bad, Joey. I on Big Brother because I would think I won it in California. I got 250, and then I think after taxes ended up with like 175.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, wow, getting 80 to 90 is I feel like a steal. Who do you still talk to from the cast?
Pretty much everyone. It's not like normal, but like love Sammy. I just sent.
You know she's in Nashville right now.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and meet her for coffee.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I just sent her baby a car, a Mercedes that I bought for my nephews and nieces. It just seems to be the gift that Uncle Joey gets for all the kids. It's like a really cool remote control like Mercedes car. So like, I think she's doing well, and that's super happy. Shuby, of course, like we randomly just always hit each other up, and like I'll be in LA randomly, and he'll call me and be like, "Brother, what you doing?" And like randomly hit like run into each other. Chris, Seaburn, I just talked to like there's a few people in the cast I haven't talked to since the show. But for the most part, I really think everyone's good.
What was the first thing that you bought once the money hit your bank account? Do you remember?
California King Tempur-Pedic bed. So
Hell yeah.
um, when I moved to LA, when I was 18, the first day, me and my dad went to Big Lots and bought a cheap bed and couches. That's all I could afford. And not to get too graphic, but when you're having sex on a Big Lots bed that squeaks and makes noise and everything, it is so uncomfortable and terrible. And for years, working in the bar, my back killed me. All I wanted was a nice bed. My goofy ass went to Ashley Furniture, got a Ashley Furniture gift credit card, and bought a $10,000 California King Tempur-Pedic bed that has a remote control that goes up and down like a hospital bed and vibrates everything. I do not give a shit. It is the best money I ever spent in my life. That bed is fucking fantastic.
Okay, I also love sleep and I love my bed, but I would never in a million years spend 10 grand on a bed. Do you think though, is it a red flag? I'm curious, because I posted this on my Instagram and it was quite controversial. Is it a red flag if a guy has a queen size bed?
Okay, this is where I'm an idiot. What size is queen? How small or big is that?
So it goes twin size, that's like a dorm room bunk bed. Then it goes full, which is pretty small, still for like, that's for like a teenager. Then a queen, like my bed right now is a queen, so it can fit two people in it, but so it's smaller. And then there's a king, and then there's the California king.
So is it a red flag if a guy's a queen?
Yeah, queen size bed. Would you ever bring a girl back if you had a queen size bed? Is my
But
question.
it fits two people.
It does, but it's small.
I mean, yeah, to me, a bigger red flag is when you walk in and see like the military style fucking like small fits one person. Like if we're gonna bang and sleep in this bed, it's really gonna take some work. Like that's a red flag. But
Okay.
I'm just like I wouldn't think twice about it. I would think more twice if I'm like, how the fuck are we both gonna fit in this bed? Like this is gonna like that to me is red flag.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if anyone has a twin size bed, no, you run away. They're a serial killer for
Yeah,
sure.
100%. They had human contact in 35 years.
I'm dead. Okay, cool, cool. So the guys out there with queen size beds, you're safe, you're fine. Okay, let's chat about Perfect Match real quick because Joey, you do so much stuff. I don't understand. So you did The Circle, you did Perfect Match. You also have a new show coming out, but Perfect Match was just released on Netflix. I'm sorry, I only watched one episode. I'm a bad friend. I really was trying to support you, but I'm just so bad. How was your experience filming that?
It was cool, man. At that point, I really wasn't looking forward to doing more reality television, to tell you the truth. But I think it's stupid, but I think I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder because I had been in LA studying my actual craft for so long and just wanted people to recognize me as an actor and that I'm good at it. So I looked at the circles like my one and done, where truly people genuinely like me for me, and that's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. And to have opportunities to do that is awesome. So I was hesitant, but the pandemic killed every bit of momentum I had. I had so many things planned because the circle, it really did launch me, and there were so many opportunities, and they fell to the wayside because the business wasn't moving forward. And it really humbled me to be thankful for reality television and be thankful enough that people gave enough of a shit, because let's be honest, you can go on a show, go through all of that and not get anything from it, and people don't really fuck with you or vibe with you. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened was, my guy from Netflix who runs all of Unscripted, his name is Rich. He's the best fucking guy in the world. He was on my season of The Circle before he was like the head of Unscripted. So we have a little bit of a cooler connection because of his love of The Circle. He called me up, and we had heard rumblings of a show that was in the works that could be a bunch of different things. And there were a few other opportunities that they asked me for things to go on. Well, one other opportunity specifically that was not a fit. I
Was it
can't.
the challenge? Did they ask you
No,
to go on the challenge?
no. What I could say is it was circle related, and it wasn't a fit, and
Okay.
it was one of those things I had to pass on and hold my breath that they didn't hate me forever, because
Okay.
I'm like, please love me.
Love
Don't.
is blind. Duh. Love is blind.
And
Okay. I put two and two together.
he basically called me up and was like, we want to make a reality universe, like how Marvel has a universe. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, my God, it's just fucking great news. Like, Jesus Christ, maybe I won't be homeless on the street. This is going to be fantastic. And the best way to do that is kind of with our most profitable concepts of like dating and competition. So the show was pitched to me as Bachelor in Paradise meets, I can't, meets the challenge. It was like Bachelor
Mm-hmm.
in Paradise meets the challenge. To be fun. It's all Netflix singles and all of these things. And Morgan, from being friends with me, I'm very private with
Mm-hmm.
my dating life and love life. That's just who I am naturally. So I was very hesitant to go on a dating show because it's a lot of things about myself I don't want to really put out there. And it's also, I feel like not everything is for the world for consumption. But, honestly, I was in a place where I really needed to move forward in my career. And also, I was like, anything I do, I have to do 100%. So I have to really wrap my head around, if I do this, I'm gonna go here and give it 100% and not be insecure and
Mm-hmm.
scared and hold back. And that's what I did. And even to the times when I could look stupid on the show, when there was like, let's say the only episode you watch, episode 1, when I admitted to not being over an ex, and everyone's like, why the fuck are you here? Like everyone was so aggressive about that. And I'm like, yo, have any of you, and most haven't, have any of you been in a for real long-term relationship, like a for real
Yeah,
long-term
it takes
relationship where,
years to get over someone.
you're basically married and that breakup is like a divorce, and also you're battling addiction, now you're clear and sober, so you're actually, like, I said this to people, some understood it, like, me saying I'm not over my ex was the most I've ever been over her, because for so many years
Mm-hmm.
I would lie about it, and when I wasn't over it. But for me to say I'm not is just like, no, I actually am. I'm just working through this now, clearly for the first time.
I also applaud you for going on a reality show sober. I cannot fathom. Like, if someone threw me an X on the beach and said, oh, by the way, you're going to do this experience and you're not going to drink any alcohol, I'm not kidding. I don't know what I would do. It would be very, very difficult because people are sociopaths on these reality shows. You almost have to be wasted to deal with them. So I applaud you on that. Was it difficult? I'm assuming it probably was.
It was one of those things to me again that was a personal challenge of, I
Mm-hmm.
want to go, like, that's where I could say a perfect match. There are a few things I'm a little upset about. Um, Again, nothing's gonna ever be the circle again, and I have to realize that
Yeah.
through things like this. But I went there as a challenge to myself to say I opened up about sobriety, but now I'm gonna go do it really on the world's biggest stage, and I'm gonna have to talk about being sober and about my insecurities and problems and traumas with dating, relationships, sex, because that's so much a part of my sobriety. And I'm gonna have to put all that out there and stand by that, no matter how scary it is. And I did, and they cut all of that from the show.
Mm,
But I would say the other thing that was hard is it was sort of the same thing of the circle of I kind of think my type on these reality shows is forever going to be make people not like him in the beginning and then make people like him in the end. But the difference is now it had to do with dating and me having a
mm,
history with someone, and that made people not be forgiving. Like, and that's what was really hard is I was being labeled a narcissistic, gaslighting abuser, all like just all of those buzzwords that people throw out
yeah.
because I talked about having a past with two people on the show, which again, no one ever knew about because I don't air my laundry. But when producers know knowledge and you're signing your life away and they're asking you things you can't, it's like what I'm gonna look sketchy by not talking about it
Right.
and give them the power to have a story or be honest about it and put it out there. And that was sort of positioned in a way of like this fucking, loudmouth and he's already bagged two girls. Who's he think he is? Like all of these things to where I'm like, yo, like that is again, you know me. This is not who I am.
I know.
And
I would never associate you with the word gaslighter, narcissist, ass, like at all. And I think that's probably why I only got through the first episode. Is I actually remember texting you and I was like, I kind of don't like the way that they're making you out to be because if you do know you, I'm sure even just from listening to you on this podcast, you're the most warm, kind, friendly, honest, authentic, awesome human being ever. So yeah, I mean that is interesting that they aired you that way. And someone actually did ask a question in the question box. They're like, ask him why he was such a dick and perfect match. And I was like, Joey Sasso is not a dick.
yeah, and but again, I think, and this is where it is frustrating. I could see for the audience who watch me on the circle and I watch me, and that's like, oh, the fame went to his head. Now he thinks he's a big shot. This and that. No, I think that it's easy for me being an Italian, confident, outgoing man who is makes jokes and all these things to be edited in a certain way. And editing, I hate the people who complain about their edit. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy because it's like, yo, we sign up for this shit. It's
Yeah.
just, it is really difficult when, if I did something, I fucking did it. If I said it, I said it. I'm going to stand by it. But there is ways of positioning things that are just not true to your character. And that being said, there's nothing wrong with it where people try to put a label on you, again, gaslighter, narcissist,
Mm-hmm.
abuser. And I think it's really unfortunate because it's sort of like, I think like I saw a joke online about ask any ask any girlfriend about their ex-boyfriend,
Yeah.
and every single one of them a gaslighting, narcissistic abuser, piece of shit, this and that.
Yeah, but like some of us actually do have a narcissistic gaslighting piece of shit ex. So like
No,
yeah,
true.
I need people to like stop using that trigger word because then it takes away the power from those people who really are bad humans. So
Yeah,
I do agree with that.
that's 100% true. Where I'm like, look, when the terms are necessary, they're necessary. But I do feel like where we're at as society is like, I do think women's empowerment's a great thing, and I'm not just saying that to say it. I was raised
Mm-hmm.
by best family of strong women, so I've always tried to respect women. But I think there is a thing today when things go wrong in a relationship or when you're talking with someone, it is elevated to a level of these buzzwords and things
Yeah.
that aren't. Dating is fucking hard in general, and being intimate is hard. You don't have to put these layers on things to make it something it's not, and that's just my opinion. So
Mm-hmm.
it was hard, and there were things that happened during the show and during filming versus when it came out that I decided to keep my mouth shut on, and it led to, I could say, again, extreme anxiety where the circle was all new, fun, and I was having a blast. Where Perfect Match, we filmed that show a year, I think, if not longer, before it came out. Like, it took a long time. So, like, I know for the audience, they're watching it and they're invested, but like, yo, imagine how much changes in your life in a year.
A
Like,
lot, yeah.
it was just really hard, man. And I know I had to do the show, and I have zero regrets about
Mm-hmm.
doing it. I want to make that very clear. But it was just a much more difficult time than I thought it would be, and it was really sad because so much of the cast had issues with each other, and we're talking shit. And all I remember thinking about was when we wrapped the show. It's how I feel anytime you wrap anything. Going to make a show or a movie, like the odds are not in your favor. You're going to war together. And somehow, some way, we're gonna get through this shit, and we're gonna all go home together. And we did, and we all had that camaraderie when that show wrapped, and we all felt good, and we were all friends, and there was no drama. And
Mm-hmm.
then the show came out, and it was just terrible. And it must be something with dating shows, because not just even with me, some other female cast members and male cast members were just getting fucking destroyed, like destroyed. And I'm like, dude, do you people realize what that can do to somebody? Like,
Mm-hmm.
people legitimately, someone can commit suicide. Like,
Yeah.
that could happen if people are being told how awful they are, how ugly they are, how terrible they are. Like, and it comes down to them not dating someone
Yeah.
that they didn't want to be with for any fucking reason that they decided, because people are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, and people are allowed to make mistakes and fuck up and do things. That's a part of life. So for people to jump down people's throats and really rip people apart, it's not fucking okay. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, because during that time I wanted to say things like this. I wanted to come out and be very aggressive towards people, of like, just watch the fucking show and have fun. At the end of the
Yeah,
day, it's
it's
entertainment.
I think yeah, if people forget this is just for entertainment. It is not, in fact, I hate to break it to everyone watching. Every single reality show is not real life. The Bachelor, Love is Blind, Perfect Match, X on the Beach. Everything is fake and contrived and not real, and it is made for one purpose only, not for true love, but for the entertainment of those watching it. And I feel like
And you
people
know what, though?
forget that.
If you're going there single and like you're open to finding it, I think that's the best thing you can do. And I think that's what everyone did in my show. I think that's what everyone did on Love Is Blind. But I think even I was in LA for the Love Is Blind reunion. Remember the whole like live reunion?
Yes.
I've only watched season 2 of Love Is Blind because Shane was on my show and he was talking about it when we were filming. So I was like, let me just watch it and see.
Yeah.
It's the only season I've ever watched, but I can't speak to anyone who's been on there besides what I've seen. But I just remember there was one cast member, a few cast members on that show, one guy, one girl, who they clearly made to look like they had fucked up people or fucked up relationships. And I just remember seeing how hard people on social were going in on them. Like terrible. And I've talked to friends who were on Love Is Blind and shows, dating shows like that, who have needed to get real professional help because their mental
Mm-hmm.
health really declined. I'm just like, yo, I would love to host a dating show. I think that would be great. But
Oh my God. I want you to replace, I mean, at least Nick. Should I be the Vanessa? Sure, sure,
that
sure. Sign us up. I would love to be the host of that. No, but I could see you replacing Nick. Nick, I'm sorry, is a wallflower. I'm sure he's lovely.
I love Nick Lachey, Morgan Willett. That man can do no wrong. I love him.
I'm sure he's an amazing human, but I don't think that he is the strongest host. I'm
Yeah.
saying I think you would be much stronger. Okay, well, my last perfect match question, and I don't know if you can answer this, but answer it to the best of your abilities. Are you and Carousel still together?
No, we are not together. We haven't been for a long time. But to tell you the truth, this is not just like the nice answer. Like, we're not on bad terms. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're not on bad terms. Like, when everything was happening with Perfect Match of cast members going at each other, I don't think there were two people who were more set up to have blood than me and her. If we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go that route, both of us did not. And I will always be so grateful to her for that. And I think she would be grateful to me for that as well, because we really did. Like, look at, we're both loud, crazy motherfuckers in front of cameras, but like, I know her heart. I think she knows mine. And we really respected each other and what all of that was, and kept everything private. And that felt so lovely to have that, especially during that time of having anxiety and not really being able to enjoy the ride. And, and all people always say, even if you're not together, do you guys still talk? Like, no. Like, do
Mm-hmm.
you talk to your ex? Like, do you keep up with your ex and want to be on terms like that? Like, no, we don't. But there's literally no bad blood. I
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of time we did that show together. What happened happened. I'm sure we'll always be at events together, which we have been, and sure, there's that little awkwardness, but like, we're respectful. We always give each other a hug. She loves my family. I love hers. Like,
That's
it, it,
good.
it just didn't work out. It wasn't meant to be. It is what it is. I truly hope she finds the person that is going to make her the happiest person in the world and be loved and respected for who she is. That's what she deserves. At the end of the day, for us, it just wasn't meant to be. I am with someone in my personal life. I am.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was like, Joey, are you back on the market? Let the ladies know. So to be clear, you are not single.
No, I am not single. And again, it takes a lot for me to even say that on this
Hmm.
podcast. And I know some people are different when it comes to that. I just am extremely private, and I'm also very precious about my personal
Yeah.
life, because anything could change. Anything can
Yeah.
fail at any moment. I'm always that guy like waiting for things to go bad because that somehow always happens. But no, I'm with someone. I'm very happy. I don't publicize that. I don't make my relationship part of my career of
Yeah.
I make sure I'm posting content with said person. I have grinded so hard for my personal life in terms of my career for so long, and these last couple of years since cleaning up my act, it's really been a matter of I want to prove to myself that I can have a successful career and a successful personal life, and the two can coexist.
Okay, I've got some random listener questions that I want to end with because I got to give the people what they want from you, Joey. Well, Joey, what's your middle name?
Richard,
Joey, is it Joseph?
Joseph,
Joseph Richard Sasso. We're going to give the people what they want. Starting with question number 1. Are you a Swiftie?
what's a Swiftie?
Oh,
Oh no no, like I'm sorry, it's like the diehard Taylor Swift fans, right?
yeah. Are you a Taylor Swift fan? So obviously, you're not if you don't know what a Swiftie is.
No, but I'm not a hater. Like, this. I'm stuck in the 70s and 80s, and I listen to movie scores for the most part. But
Okay.
completely respect her. I think she's amazing in terms
What's
of.
your favorite Taylor Swift song?
I couldn't. What was the last one that was like the big hit? It was all over social from her last album.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah, like that's cool. Like again, like I've talked to a lot of Taylor fans because I'm never a hater who just hates if something's not for me. I like to see why people like what they like, and people have told me she writes all of her own shit. It's
So
really
talented.
her stuff is her stuff, and she treats her fans amazingly well. And I'm like, that's fucking amazing, and I have so much respect for her as an artist. It's just not my music. It's just
Okay,
not.
fair. So you're not spending $1,200 to go see her Eras tour, is what you're
No, if
saying.
I had that, I would be spending 3,500 to see Kiss and their last shows ever in Manhattan, December 1st and 2nd, but I can't afford it. So it would be going to. I'm a diehard Kiss fan, so it
Okay,
would.
I support that. I will not be attending that Kiss concert, but I hope you can go to that. Who is your celebrity crush?
It's always my forever celebrity crushes will always be Carmen Electra, Pamela Anderson, the people. That's the reason I've always I think loved blondes is I
Okay.
was in love with them when I was little, and there's a few other actresses just like Kate Winslet. I have so much respect for, and I think she's so
Okay,
effortless.
you're too noble. Can you just tell me who you think is hot? I don't care who you think is a good actress. Just tell
Yeah,
me who you think is
but
hot.
But like I think like someone like I point at like a Kate Winslet because she doesn't play the game of plastic surgery and trying to look
Okay.
young. Like she embraces. I've always liked older women. That's always been
Okay.
like a thing for me, and I think older women are beautiful for so many reasons. And I'm like, you're aging gracefully, and you're not trying to make yourself sexy, which makes you sexy. I think in
Okay.
today's day and age of Instagram and TikTok, my personal opinion, just me, is I think some people try way too hard, women and men.
Mm.
And you could have the biggest boobs, you could have the biggest ass, you could have all of those things. And yeah, if you can make it work for you, great. But like, I don't know. I feel like we lived in LA for many years, the land of beautiful people,
Ugh.
where everyone's a 10 and gorgeous, and that's all great. But if you don't have a heart and a personality behind that or something, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Amen. Also, like to everyone in LA, stop like looking beautiful at the gym. It's awful. I'm like,
Yeah,
I want to be.
that's so annoying. I hate that. It's the
I want to
worst.
be sweaty. I want to be gross. Everyone in LA is in a fake lash, a full face of makeup, like the cutest matching set. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't keep
Yeah,
up. You're so noble. My celebrity crush is Zac Efron. So, in case you were wondering,
I'm not a
What's the weirdest DM you have ever received?
This will always be the answer, and nothing will ever top it. It was in the circle phase of people sending crazy nudes and shit, which you don't expect. Because I know
You're like,
you probably
whoa, a
got,
naked person.
yeah, someone sends a message request and it's a video or picture, but you have to approve it to see it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that could be a nude, or it could just be people saying hi. You never know. But it was a video of a girl in a bathroom, and she put the phone in like the corner of the room. She walked in with her robe on, and I'm like, again, where is this going? She derobed and started like squatting. I thought she was like gonna twerk because she was naked, and she took a shit on the floor and said like, "Imagine this all over your chest, daddy." And I think it was, I think I just automatically blocked, because sometimes people send stupid shit and like you can have fun with them with a sense of humor. That just went to levels that like, I'm like a kinky dude. Like I'm not embarrassed of that lifestyle of getting crazy, but like that was just like
That's crossing lines.
to me it was the thought process. Like, yo, like you're a beautiful girl, but like what point did you think like taking a shit on the floor was gonna be appealing not just to me but to anyone? There was just so many layers to that when I was just like, I don't even want to. Like it was just a block, and I just
Yeah.
couldn't. That happened. It was a lot.
Yeah. Okay. No one has ever messaged me that. God bless America. I think I would have to.
How many dick pics have you gotten
Dude,
randomly?
I don't get a lot of dick pics, but you have to realize my following is 90% females, which I actually appreciate. So I feel like guys look at my Instagram and it actually terrifies them. I feel
But
like I don't appeal to
really feel
men.
like that, or does it like, I know you don't want dick pics, but is there the part of you that wants to just be like, oh my god, like it's so annoying, like so.
I think I've gotten one dick pic and it's disturbing because you're not in the right mindset. I don't care if it's the most beautiful penis ever that you're being sent. If I'm drinking my coffee in the morning and all of a sudden a penis is popping up on my phone, I'm like, ha! Like I'm gonna throw my phone across the room. It's just disturbing. So no, I think I've gotten like one. But it also concerns me because I'm like, all right, you're sending me a dick pic. I can easily screenshot this and blast. I know your name. It's
Yeah.
so confusing why people do that. And also, if I was a guy and I'm sending a girl a dick pic and she opens it and doesn't respond to me, oh my God, I'm going to witness protection. I'm changing my name. I'm moving to Europe. I would be mortified. It makes no sense to me.
Look at you said it perfectly. Dicks are not pretty. They're just not, like, look at
They're really not.
any woman. I love my dick like every man. It's my favorite thing about myself. It's my best friend. I know enough to know no matter how much I love it, it's not cute. It's just not. And
It's,
uh, any woman could take a nude and look beautiful, because women are just gorgeous and have beautiful bodies. Any man taking a dick pic or just naked pic, we just don't look good. We're hairy. Most of us are flabby and out of shape. Like it's just like we got to try to win with our personalities, guys. Like let's keep the dicks away. No more
yeah,
dick.
and unless a girl is being like, "Hey, will you send me this?" I think that is the only time you should be allowed to send a dick pic. Other than that, we don't want unwarranted penises popping up on our Instagram. That's never cute. They're always like veiny. It's
Trying to
weird.
go back to like being whenever those moments have happened. Because look, I'd be lying if I said I didn't send dick pics. Of course, everyone has done it. Like it's happened, but like it really, if you're talking with someone, it's like a pretty good amount of time before like any girl's like, I want that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not it's just different. But I think guys just have an attitude of like, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna go
Yeah,
over.
she wants to see this. And it's like, plot twist. No, we don't. Joey, I am so happy you came on. Before we wrap up, what's next for you? Any projects in the works you want to plug, all the fun stuff?
Few things. I did a show for Amazon, another competition show called The GOAT. Total last minute show that happened during Perfect Match, and it just sounded like fun when that show airing was not. So I was like, sure. That was cool. That's coming out, I think, later this year. I'm not sure. I can't. They announced it as soon as we finished, like 3 days after we finished filming. I'd never had that before.
Oh.
It's coming out on Amazon Freebie, so I'm stepping out of the Netflix world, which I think is exciting, and try to build with some other places. My film Young Lion of the West that I wrote, starred, and produced is coming out. We just signed with our distributor, and I think it's coming out first quarter of 2024, which is exciting because I have something to kick off next year with, and I'm currently getting ready to start production on my next feature film, and there is another uh, unscripted show that is fun for another network that I may be going on. It's looking like I'm going to go on it, but because of the strikes right now, it
Okay.
hasn't moved forward. But this would be one that is just
For
purely fun,
funsies.
no seriousness whatsoever,
Okay.
and it's a pre-existing thing. And if that happens, like it's something that's been on for multiple
Oh.
seasons, where sometimes they bring in people
If
from.
you go on Amazing Race and I'm not your partner, I will never speak to you ever again.
I promise it's not. It's not Amazing Race. It's not Survivor. It's not anything that serious.
Okay.
It's something that's so much more like low key and fun and cool. There's that, and then I'm also working on getting my podcast going. So when that happens, Morgan, you will be first episode. I promise. I need all the tea on everything.
Oh my goodness, Joey, if you think you're an open book, you better pick my brain on whatever you want. I will gladly be a guest on your podcast. What are you going to call your podcast?
I don't want to say it yet because I'm filing the trademark, so I want to make sure I can
Okay.
own it. I want to put it out there in case it doesn't go through yet. And another thing I will promote is OnlyFans. A lot of people try to hide that. I like doing it. I think it's fun, and I've done it because there's such a stigma to it, and I think that there is a place to have your fan base come and talk to you regularly, and if people want to be adult oriented, they can.
Can I ask you a super personal question? Because I'm curious, and I feel like people listening will want to know. How much do you make a month from OnlyFans?
It's not what it was when I started, which
when you first started, how much did you make in a month?
I think my first month was 50 or 60,000.
Shut up! Well, I love you. Thank you for chatting with me. Where can the people find you on social media?
All over. Just type in Joey Sasso. You'll find me. SASSO. All the places, the Snapchats, the Facebook, the Instagrams. Just type it in. You'll find me.
All the things. Watch him on all the shows. Joey, come visit me in Nashville. I want to see your face. I'm so excited for all the things coming up for you.
Morgan, I'm not just saying this because we're on the call. You know this. I fucking love you and adore you. You are one of my favorite humans, and I am so happy that you're doing well. And honestly, thank you for having me on.
Oh my God,
really.
This was fun. I could chat with you literally all day long, but I know you probably got things to do. Joey was also 30 minutes late to this podcast. I have to call you out on that one. Oh my God, way to go.
I fucked it up.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm thankful you are here. And guys, make sure to give Joey a follow, all the things, watch his shows, and I will see everyone here next week as we wrap up season 1 of Your Internet Best Friend. Bye, besties. Thanks so much for listening to the Your Internet Best Friend podcast. It's been real, it's been fun, and I will see everyone here next week. In the meantime, do all the podcast things, like, subscribe, give me a 5-star review if you please, and catch up with me on social media at Morgan Lee Willette. Bye, besties.